Hello everybody, it is Sarah here with Purple Angel Oracle. I am here with my dad today. His name is Lou. For those of you who have watched my previous videos, I've mentioned him often, and him and I talk on the phone every day. We talk about Ascension, everything in between, and this is going to be kind of like that. It's going to be, we don't know where this is going to lead. It might get a little wacky. There might be a few curse words. So I've given you a warning, okay? But yes, his name is Lou. So this is a conversation about Ascension between a boomer and a millennial, okay? Something you don't really come across very often. So we'll just see where this goes. Okay, thank you so much once again to all of my new subscribers for the likes, the comments. I love you all. Okay, so Dad, what do you think is going on right now? Where should we start?
Well, Sarah, first of all, I want to thank you for letting me come over here and do this, because I've been keeping a lot of things in me since June of 1998, when my experience happened for me. And what an experience. I had nobody to relate to, nobody to talk to, and I just had to suck it up and try to figure it out. But I am convinced at this time in history that the biggest thing that can happen to, spiritually, can happen to a planet collectively and individually is upon us. There is an ascension. God or the universe is all dialed in, and all the work's been done, and we're about ready to experience something that we have waited for since, well, the beginning of time, since we were created. This is all what we've been working for, and it's upon us. And I think the people out there that are tuned in and are honest with themselves and seriously seeking know exactly what we're talking about here. So, yeah, I have never been so excited and so spiritually
Connected,
that's a good one, than I am right now.
Right.
And so, yeah,
and
where does it go?
We were talking before we started recording how there's, beings who have chosen, to walk in or incarnate during this lifetime, because they could have very well have gone through this where they came from, and know what a big party it is. And they want to help us through it, and they want to be a part of it because it's incredible.
Incredible. And we have no words to even describe it. Our vocabulary cannot even describe what we're anticipating. And we can say, only anticipating, because we cannot imagine it. It's never happened. But our souls know. Our souls are anticipating something that they've been waiting for. And boy, what a day that's going to be. And I think that day is upon us. I'm not saying it's happening right this minute, but we've all been gearing up to it. And we put in a lot of work. And I want to tell everybody out there, by grace was the first time, the first time. If we got connected with God or the universe, it was by grace the first time. This time we've earned it. Right. We have earned it. We've worked for this.
Yeah.
So we can expect it.
And the energy that we're feeling and how we're all connected, though we can't necessarily put our fingers on exactly what's going on, there's no denying something is going on, something shifting. And everybody has their own interpretation of it. But the bottom line is exactly the same. Is that...
Absolutely.
So spiritually, scientifically, mathematically, any way you can look at this, it's all connected. We're at that evolutionary jump point. So... And Yeah, there really isn't words.
We're waiting on something. We're anticipating something so much. We're so excited about something. Yet we have really no idea what it's going to be.
Which is the beauty, because we can't even, which we shouldn't be attaching to the outcome anyway.
Absolutely not.
And we can't, because we don't know what it is.
And it's been purposely kept from us.
Because that's the only way to manifest it.
That's right. And keep working at it, please, because it's right here.
Yes, use your imagination. And, I've said this before, picturing what this shift looks like for you, bringing it in, whatever way that is for you. If that's praying, just straight up asking God, bring whatever way that is for you. Okay, you can't go wrong.
Nope. You can't screw this up. You can't fuck it up at all. Okay? You can't. You want to try to, you can think, oh, God, I messed up. It didn't happen that way. No. Whatever you do will bring it. Okay? Because you've already proven you have a pure heart, a pure soul, or you wouldn't be doing this light work to begin with.
And you wouldn't be listening to this.
Exactly.
So this we all know. There's still much we don't know. There's definitely signs in the sky and nature, like me and my dad were just talking, which is strange because we both noticed it. Last night, and it wasn't in the forecast, I was sitting outside and the brightest lightning I've ever seen. It caught me. I didn't even think it was lightning. It was so bright. And there was no thunder. Okay? No
Zero.
Thunder. And I said this to my husband, and then I talked to my dad this morning, and he says, what the hell was that? There was lightning with no thunder. And it was the brightest lightning I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Yes.
So that itself tells you there's just straight up energy, electricity, things that the universe God is sending in purposely, because the shift is accelerating. And I got lightheaded, by the way. I didn't mention that, but I felt something change within me.
Right. And how many of you out there are feeling like your bodies are changing from the cellular clear down to your cells outward? You're getting healthier. You got more energy. Something. You're feeling better all the time.
And you look at the world differently.
You look at the world differently, and you fit into the collective soul in a much more relative, positive way, because you're finding out who you are. Who you are, not just now, not just in this spiritual time, but some insight into maybe who you were and who you're going to be collectively. God is going to manifest himself in all of us.
Exactly. Every aspect of yourself that I've said this to exists now or has ever existed, because there's no time. So I was explaining this to my daughter. We were talking about it today, how, everyone is ascending. Okay. That is, I've already established that, but it's like, think of it this way. What if there is a handful of original souls that came to Earth, and there's just tons of different aspects of those souls existing on the planet right now. Okay? Those are all merging. It's merging into one self. It's taking all the experiences collectively that every aspect has learned, has gained wisdom from. It's all coming into one. Okay? So that's another way to think of it. If you don't understand the evil and the sadness.
Think of this, Sarah. Why is it that now, if we were a species of animal, 7.5 billion to 8 billion of any animal is a bad thing, because either pestilence or disease or anything is going to wipe out that species because there's too many.
Right.
Why did God or the universe, whatever way you want to look at your higher power, why did he let it happen to where we are 7 billion strong right now, and nobody's getting, genocide's not happening or nothing? He let us get to this population for a reason. Everybody is housing a soul, a piece of a soul, whatever. They're all fitting into this thing collectively. That's why there's 7 billion of us on this planet right now. Because believe me, if we were a different species, it wouldn't happen.
Right. We would have. that's why we know this is divinely planned and guided, because we would have destroyed ourselves by now.
Absolutely.
And yes, there is still horrible things going on the planet, but I like to believe there's a purpose. There's a purpose for all of it. It doesn't mean we shouldn't send love to those people, send good energies. There has to be a purpose.
Yeah.
God wouldn't create... It's like, children. You would never purposely harm your child. Okay?
And would you let your child believe so strongly in something and anticipate, like opening presents on Christmas morning, opening presents on Christmas morning and Santa Claus and all this other happy horse shit that goes into it? Would you let them believe that just to let them down? No.
Exactly.
There's no letdown in this.
So, and when we talk about God as well, this is another thing to point out. God has helpers as well, because God itself is an energy, right? Source.
Only spirit.
Only spirit, okay? So when we say he, we're not referring to him as a man. We're just used to saying that. I want to make that clear. But our galactic families, our galactic parents, whatever way you want to look at that, yes, they are the ones that seeded us. They're the ones that physically were able to create this in the sense of being God as well, right?
Yes.
Does that...
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I just sitting here thinking, Sarah and I, this has consumed our whole life. When she was a little girl, it started with me in 1998, and she wrote me a letter, or she wanted to write God a letter, and I answered her by cutting out letters out of a magazine.
You channeled God, basically.
Channeled God, and he answered her, and from then on, it happened. It happened in such a big way. I got crazy as a shithouse rat, but I had to take 6 months off of work. All kinds of zany stuff happened, and people thought, oh, okay, he's lost it. He's been in his apartment now for 6 months. Nobody's seen Howard Hughes, So, but there was all a reason for this stuff. This is the most important piece of work that a group of souls ever has done or ever will do. And don't ever stop trying to. This is real. It's so real. This is the realest thing that ever has happened.
Exactly.
And
if you stop and look back at each of your lives, you'll realize what everything that has happened to you in your life was for a specific reason. And it takes such a big weight off your shoulders when you realize that, because you wouldn't have gotten to this point that you are right now if all that didn't happen. So
absolutely,
I say this more all the time, but everything is perfectly orchestrated.
Right down to the nanosecond or whatever. Yes,
exactly.
There's no mistakes. There's no mistakes. Everything fits in perfectly.
Just like the moon and the sun, like you were saying.
Yeah, 93 million miles away to the sun, 250,000 miles to the moon. Yet during an eclipse, they fit perfectly together with no differential light. Too big of an horizon or anything. It fits perfectly. Okay. That's a coincidence. My aching ass, that's not a coincidence. That was divinely designed to do that. Just like everything else. It's all about souls. It's all about God looking down, or the universe looking down, and seeing a perfect reflection of itself, which is perfection and the attributes thereof. And what are those attributes? Only love, charity, kindness, peace, good ones. Things brought in by the light. Okay, the rest of it, we have to have it for contrast. But we're to manifest the attributes of our loving, caring, gracious, merciful God.
And learn how to balance the two.
Absolutely.
To where the light is always in charge. Doesn't mean the darkness doesn't exist. It just means the darkness knows the light is in charge.
It knows its place.
There we go. We figured that out.
Yeah, we got that. We got that. So
this is how we do this, everybody. We talk it out, and then all of a sudden we get these thoughts, and we're like, oh, okay, there we go. That makes sense. So I do want to kind of ask, because this may be a good way to confirm something shifted this year. If you guys could let me know in the comments, did something shift for you this year? Was there an intense energy? Did something huge happen for you this year that kind of threw you into this connection, like just made it heavier and stronger all over again this year? Because if most of you say yes, then that's not like we need confirmation, but it'd be nice to know, right? That, hey, yeah.
Yeah, I know for this cowboy it did in a big way. In a big way. So I'm sure it has for a lot of people out there. And when I can't, we're talking about people pure in heart, pure in soul, that know they are, and that want only the best outcome of anything and everything. Okay? That's who I deal with, or who I want to talk to, and who I think is going to manifest this thing. Now, I don't know about the others because it's just none of my business. But I'm concerned with those people that are God's angels, God's attributes. It's time we saw love, peace, charity, mercy, all of these things manifest in a big way on this planet.
And that way, that if that is all that we're dealing with anymore, then there won't be any greed. We can share this beautiful planet. We can enjoy it. We can create what we want with no boundaries. I mean, we've felt restricted our entire lives. Like, we can't accomplish things. We can't do things. And that wall is starting to collapse.
In a big way.
And me and my dad being on here doing this is proof of that, because this is something we never even thought would happen for us. Being able to talk like this, and each and every one of you can do the same thing. And you should, because it's once you start talking about it like this, that's manifesting. We're bringing it into
Absolutely.
Reality right now by talking about it.
Most important thing you can do right here, right now.
Telling you that it is happening. What is happening right now. We're bringing it into reality.
And what a blessing to be able to watch your own ascension.
Exactly.
What a trip, huh?
It is. And
So
it's yeah. And yes, I've gotten a lot of comments how people have said I'm very lucky to have my dad to talk to about this. And yes, I am. And yes, I am. I never forget that. He has been a huge part. He's everything when it comes to my spiritual journey. And another thing we were discussing this morning, him and I, was people concerned about their family members who aren't consciously aware of what's going on and being worried that they're not going to ascend, right? Your vibration and light alone is bringing them into this, okay? So they will awaken. You're going to awaken them, whether you say anything to them or not, because once your light quotient gets larger, it's going to be so strong that energy coming off of you is going to be so, it's going to awaken them. It's just going to be something they cannot resist anymore.
True story.
So every light worker is positioned somewhere on this planet to do that.
True story, Sarah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So once that explosion happens within us, okay, so the shift, this event, whatever you want to call it, that's what's going to happen, is the energy coming off you is going to be sent. You know what I'm saying? Because you're
Absolutely.
Consciously aware of it.
It's for people that are familiar with the Zohar or Kabbalah. In the beginning, they had the vessels, and God's light was too intense, and it blew the vessels apart, and the holy ether went all over the place. Well, that's the same thing that's going on here. This time, they're going to hold it. The vessels will hold the light, and the light will be seen through them. And there it is, there. They're not going to fall apart like they did the first time. So
we've been prepared for this. We've been molded for this. That's why our bodies themselves are going through this physical or the spiritual transition here, because that is what's going to take place. And why else would we be sitting here talking about any of this?
we're certifiable if this is all BS.
I mean, I guess they can
Good
check
God.
us into the loon house, because this.
And
if we were literally that crazy, I would not be able to maintain my normal life. I go out and do, we still have our normal 3D experiences.
I'll tell you what, if this is crazy, we're not just crazy. Christ, we have left the damn building. We are gone, because this is so far. You can't dream this shit up.
No.
You can't.
No, you can't.
Excuse me for the bad language, but in your wild, I don't care if you're dropping 4-way window pane. You cannot dream this up.
No. And the fact that all of us are understanding what's going on collectively, there's just no way. I mean, we're bringing this reality into, we're getting rid of the old reality, because
Amen.
The collective is getting bigger. It's getting stronger. So
it's not coming on top of the old reality. It's pushing it out.
it's like, goodbye, excuse me.
No room for both. Sorry, but you're old and
You're so 3D. No.
Exactly.
That's terrible. But this still will be a 3D. I mean, we can still have the 3D and the 5D together. It's just going to be merging, is what I'm kind of picking up. Is that
exactly?
It's still a physical planet. It's
absolutely,
and it has to be, so we can feel and smell and touch and enjoy it.
We got 5 senses. What good are they if we can't use them? So.
Right. It's a balancing act. So yeah. I think we covered quite a bit there.
I think we covered a lot there.
Yeah, because I wasn't. Well, guys, that was it for now. We will definitely, my dad and I will probably get together again and go over some other things that we discuss. I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.